Governance has always been about the people, regardless of the selfish interests of whosoever is on the throne. Now, the story of Bello's 80.2 billion naira fraud is no longer news. All right, this is your favorite show here on TAF TV, the CIA Corner. Like you all know, here in CIA, we bring to you the best of commentaries, in-depth analysis that are trending on a newspaper, especially this one that I have for you for today. My name is Ayokim and I am your co-host for today. Sit back and relax while we go on a quick break, and I'll bring you details of this story after the break. All right, you're welcome back from that quick break. Now let's dive into the story properly. Now in Kogi State, a group has come out to say, please, the Tinubu's-led administration should please look not just into the at least 80.2 billion naira fraud of Bello. They should also look into, in quote, the human rights abuse. They also described the 8-year tenure of Bello as miserable, saying that there were a lot of killings, there were a lot of human rights abuse. They also mentioned that during Bello's tenure, any opposition that actually raised a finger was either declared missing or was killed, and there were records of an opposition party. They also mentioned the case of Kogi East that happened between APC and the People's Democratic Party, where one of their female chief personnel was actually burnt down, and the governor never said anything. Now, that case actually died during his tenure. They also recounted a case of People's Democratic Party in the Kogi East, which there was a lady that was burnt down during the election that actually brought Bello back on seat for his second term. Now, this case was not addressed. Now, as a sitting governor, he did not address that case, despite the fact that during that election period and even after, some persons were declared missing and nothing was done about it. So now this group are coming out to tell our dearest president and his administration to please look into the abuse that actually happened during Bello's case, that it should not just end in the alleged 80.2 billion naira fraud that EFCC is currently chasing him after. Now, the big question is, over time in Nigeria, we have never had a situation where the people, we were yet to have a proper channeling between the governance and the people. Just like I said in the intro, that the governance, in quotes, democracy in quotes, has always been about the people, and the people will always speak up, regardless of how selfish our leaders could get. Now, over time in Nigeria, there has never been this channel of communication between our leaders and the people. Now, we could recall early last month that our federal government told us that there would be some level of, they actually launched a tracker app that can actually analyze our leaders at the throne, where the people can sit back at the comfort of their homes and give analysis of how their funds are being raised. That is a striking point, because at this point we're yet to hear details of that app, and it will really go a long way if Nigerians are given the opportunity to actually speak up, even while our leaders are on the throne. Because it is quite unfortunate that these persons that are coming out to protest for Bello to be held down in regards to human abuse and the killings and the likes that happened during, after good 8 years, they are now coming out now. It is quite unfortunate, because one actually wonder, what were they doing for the past 8 years? Is it that they didn't see this, or they didn't actually see opportunities to actually air out their voice? Or is it that when these persons are on the throne, they can't actually voice out? Now, that is one of the things that this present administration should actually look into, rather than having to wait for the person to come out of office. I know there is immunity. We can actually question our leaders to some extent, but at some point there should be some level of channeling where the people gets to relate a particular situation, just like this one that happened way back 8 years ago, and we're hearing it now. These persons are coming out now to say that, okay, there was a party agent that was burnt down and nothing was done about it. Some persons were declared missing in Kogi State, and up till now they are yet to be found. And the governor, as at then, in person of Yahya Bello, never said anything. And this person had to wait for good 8 years and still counting. They never made any move. They never made any effort. And now they are coming out to tell the federal government that, see, this was what happened. So at this point, I feel there should be some level of channeling. We should stop patterning our lives the way, okay. Let me catch my breath, bro. So at this point, I feel Nigerians, we should actually make a drastic step. Like, let there be a shift in the way we actually go about scanning our leaders. There should be some level of free flow of information from the bottom to the top. All right, now, secondly, we should actually look at it from this angle. Between the governance and EFCC, because between our federal government and the EFCC, where do Nigerians actually come into play? What is our part? Because over time now, Nigerians, we are so used to running to our daddies. Federal governments come to our aid, governments do this, governments do that. And at times we forget that these things actually affect us directly. Now, just like the case that this Kogi group is actually reporting, these things actually affected them personally, that a party agent of the People's Democratic Party, their agent was burnt down and some persons were missing as at the time of Yahya Bello's tenure. Now, nothing was done about it. This thing actually affected Nigerians and every single Nigerian that actually dwells in that state directly. This is not about the federal government. So there should be some level of effort for we Nigerians when things like this comes up. I'm not saying because at some point most Nigerians will say we have been protesting, we have been doing this, and our voices are not actually heard. But I still feel there is more to what we can do as Nigerians, rather than always taking up everything to waiting for the government. Just like what we are hearing now, that for 8 years some persons were missing and still missing till now, and no effort has been done about it. And we're just hearing it now that the federal government should look into it, while we are yet to actually properly get conclusions of this 80.2 billion naira. We're still hearing another one coming from this same person. So there should be some level of effort between we Nigerians, what we can actually do. That should be the question first. If things like this get to happen, regardless, let's just leave the higher things for the persons above. Just like this case of 80 billion naira, we don't expect the common Nigerian to actually go and start investigating. That's why we have the EFCC. But when it comes to things that has to do with us, some person is missing. Now, this is our community, this is our lives. So we should always play a part rather than leaving everything to the government. Okay, this is where we're drawing our curtains in regards to this story. Now, do you really think at this point, it is proper to wait for a particular governance to be over before we can voice out? Don't you think there should be some level of, like I said earlier, there should be some level of channeling where, some level of communication channels where you can actually relate a particular event that actually took place during this person's time in the space of 1 week, rather than waiting for another 8 years to say it out. Now I'll be waiting here on TAF TV, and I've been your co-host for today. Hey, okay, do well to take care of yourself. See you next time.